Get this, I'm just preparing for my talk at Think Rum tomorrow, and currently, as of today, there are more distilleries in the UK than there are in Jamaica, Barbados, Trinidad, Guyana, St. Lucia, Puerto Rico, Guatemala, Grenada, and the Dominican combined. Mental. So I'm sat on my kitchen floor after a fantastic day in London yesterday. It was Think Rum, travelled down in the morning, got there for about 11 o'clock, sat in some talks, did a talk, met lots of exciting people, and lots of interesting conversation was had. And I thought I would just put my thoughts down on camera now, because I didn't get a huge amount of footage yesterday because there was just so much good stuff going on. Look at this! Just bumped into John Vine, absolute legend. When did we first meet?
It would have been at probably Think Rum.
Yeah.
Probably 2016. And we talked a lot about pirates.
We were both on the panel talking about how rum was associated with pirates and that things needed to change. And guess what? Not everything's changed. There's still a few pirates about. John's still about and I'm still about. My talk was on British rum, homegrown talent, the emergence of the British rum scene. There were some really interesting things coming out of the discussion points, but at the start of 2016, there were no rum distilleries in the UK. No one was making rum then. Now there are 27 rum distilleries at my last count. I'll be the 28th if someone doesn't open one up in the meantime. We've got rum distilleries up in Orkney and down in Portsmouth, over in Anglesey and over in Essex. There is rum being made all over the UK, and it is genuinely really exciting because the diversity across the different distilleries is huge, because there are different people with different backgrounds doing it. And one of the things I love is that they're doing it for such fantastic reasons. These people that have set up these distilleries aren't necessarily people that have had a background in spirits before. They're not necessarily rum makers or have any experience with rum, but every single person doing this is doing it for the right reasons. Kit Carruthers started Ninefold because he wanted to save his family estate. And that's amazing. Like, that's what drives him. Gus Wakeham and Gemma, they started Two Drifters because CO2 is an enormous problem, that we have to halve the world's CO2 by 2030, or we will have a climate catastrophe, and that's what drives them. Paul and Jay Seen that launched Matuga, and Paul's ambitious plans for what he can do with the village of Matuga, where he's from, in Uganda. Everyone that I've met has just got such solid reasons for doing this. It's not about, oh, I can get rich quick. It's not about that. And none of this takes away from what's going on elsewhere in the world, or what has been going on historically in the Caribbean. This is not a cultural appropriation of trying to take something and trying to westernize it or make it better. It's not about that. And the reason I'm wanting to make rum is because I love what they're doing. I just want to see it more accessible. I want to be a transparent brand where people know what they're getting. Just wanted to say this because I'm reminded about how massive this movement is right now. This isn't just about the distillery that we're building. This is so much bigger than that, and there is so much going on in the world of rum right now. There's experimentation going on across the board. There's partnerings, there's collaborations, and people sharing knowledge and resources, and it is so exciting. Yeah, so huge encouragement to go and support all those little independent distilleries across the UK right now. Most of them are selling directly through their website. They're out there, so I encourage you to go and find them. More from me next week, and I think it's probably about time we got Chris in front of the camera. Chris, the sales director, Chris Bryant Mansell. So we're going to do a little bit with Chris, and no doubt there'll be more to show you at the distillery by then as well. Thanks for watching. Just a brief, not rant, but a brief little offload of my thoughts. Right, more from me next week. Bye bye.